Man City midfielder Kevin De Bruyne has been speaking to the media ahead of his side's Champions League clash against Feyenoord tonight, with his contract due to expire in the summer. De Bruyne admitted that he has doubts surrounding his future at the Etihad.
I'm not really too obsessed with things right now. I know people will ask me questions about this, but there's not a lot I can say. There's not been a lot of talks. So, I can only give you the answers that I'm giving you right now, because there's nothing really more to talk about. Talks will come. If no talks come, then it's my last year. So I don't know. I'm trying to be honest, and we'll see what the future holds.
It's a strange one, isn't it, with Kevin De Bruyne? Because, listen, there's no doubt whatsoever on his day he was world class, but he's had injuries over the last 18 months. He's certainly not the player he was. He's still a wonderful player. Yes. But what do you do if you're Man City? I would assume if they're going to offer him a deal, it would have maybe been put on the table.
I see this as we've seen De Bruyne's prime. It's been and gone.
Yeah.
I feel that the injury problems, and you don't really see De Bruyne when you watched him in the last 6 months burst past the player like he did 3-4 years ago, 2-3 years ago. So injury problems as well. I think Man City will know that he's on crazy money as well. He'll be on 300, won't he? Around that amount probably. So I can just see him going in the summer, mate, on a free transfer to Saudi.
They've got a big rebuilding task ahead. I think that's maybe one of the reasons why the Pep deal could be 2 years long, because they've got an agent.
De Bruyne, mate.
Pardon?
Big player to replace.
Yeah,
he's outstanding career at Man City.
Do you know what?
The passes, the goals.
Benty made a really good point on the show yesterday. I know it's bizarre to say that, but he did. He said that when Man City buy players, very rarely do they buy from the top shelf. They buy players that turn into world-class players.
Agreed.
What do you do now? Do you go out and buy a ready-made replacement, or, again, do you maybe give that player a little bit of time to come in?
I think it's difficult. Like, who's out there that's similar to Kevin De Bruyne? No one. I mean, like, he's been outstanding. His delivery. I mean, he's been put on par with Beckham for his passing, in his crossing, goals, driving from midfield. And you look at that midfield and you say, obviously, Rodri will come back, start next season. And then who's in front of him? Kovacic is a good player, but can't do what De Bruyne can do.
No.
Bernardo Silva's 30 now. He might be looking to go. Barcelona has been mentioned last couple of years.
I suppose
they need to go out and get one, though.
The replacement was meant to be Phil Foden, and it could be Phil Foden, but he's gone off the boil a bit.
Yeah, man, he disappointed me on the weekend. I'm watching the Pedro Porro goal, and I'm watching the highlights of it afterwards on Match of the Day, and I'm like, he's not running back.
No tracking.
No, and then Porro just runs on the other side of the pitch and taps it in. No help. Do you know what I mean? I think the whole team is lacking a bit of energy, lacking a bit of leadership, especially with Rodri out. But Foden needs to book his ideas up, because Maddison, his performance was outstanding. Cole Palmer's into form. He's like, if you picked an England squad now and a team to start, Foden's not starting.
Do you think Man City look back at the Cole Palmer scenario and they're kicking themselves? Alvarez is the one, is it?
Yeah, Alvarez and Cole Palmer.
Yeah.
You're looking at what you sold Cole Palmer for. Alvarez, yes, you got good money for them, but they could do with them now, mate. Docky's
That's a very good point. That's a very good point.
You know what I mean? Foden, a lot of pressure on Foden to get goals as well as Haaland with De Bruyne out. And you look at the Man City, mate.
What about your mate, Grealish?
He's had his injury problems this season. I'm hopeful that he'll start tonight, so he can get back in, and he's hungry to get back at it. And Doku's been injured as well. They've had problems. Diaz injured. Stones went off at half time on the weekend. They've had their problems, Manchester City. But I just look at Kevin De Bruyne and I just think he's at the age 33. Body's letting him down a bit. It just suits him to go to Saudi now. Go and get that big payday. He's talked about it as well. He's been honest and says, what I can earn in Saudi will take my whole Premier League career to earn. He's keen to do that himself anyway.
Just quickly before we move on, in a word, who's your favourite for Premier League?
Liverpool.
It's Liverpool. Okay.
Because I thought Man City would come back, but
it's all about this weekend, right?
Yeah, but Rodri being out, mate, just seems like it's killed him as a team. One player they don't want to miss is him.
I'm glad you answered that in one word.
talkSPORT Drive with Andy Goldstein. Monday to Friday afternoon from 4 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.